This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. All right, good morning, folks. So we are camped up here out in Central Oregon. We're up on a butte overlooking some beautiful high desert area. It's kind of a nice mixture between sage and some open sage area and national forest where we have some pine trees and everything. And this is really some of my favorite type of terrain where these two environments kind of come together, and I just think it's really, really beautiful. Goal today is to drive from here, which we're just outside of Pine Mountain, outside of Bend, Oregon, and we are going to go basically overland, and take dirt track from here all the way to Obsidian Buttes. Obsidian is not Obsidian Buttes, I'm sorry, Glass Buttes, which is made of obsidian. That's why it's called Glass Buttes. It's made of obsidian. So really cool place, I heard. I have never been there, so I think it'll be a really cool little trek. We'll make a little overland trip out of it, a little desert overland trip out of it, and take the KIA Telluride and cruise on over there and see what we can find. Good girl. Get some of this crap off of you. All right, guys, so we're starting off our trip here a little bit. We're heading up a hill. We're right across from where we were camped this morning. In fact, that little butte that you can see maybe way off in the distance is where we were camped this morning. So we're going to continue to head up this road. It's going to take us into a little bit of national forest and up by the Pine Mountain Observatory, and then we're going to come around and drop down the backside and then continue out over the desert on our way to Glass Buttes. Alright guys, so we just stopped up here in some national forest area. There's some nice shade and everything. So I thought it'd be a good place for us to stop and have a little lunch, let the dogs out and go to the bathroom and get some water. But as you can see, just like I said in a previous video, there's cattle up here, and this is national forest, so they do graze the national forest as well. We've got actually several cows around here. They're quite curious to what we're doing up here, but definitely be aware that if you're traveling through some of the national forests in Oregon that you might encounter cows. Now, just a few minutes ago though, too, coming up the hill, we also saw a doe that was kind of grazing through here as well. But I'll be honest, I wasn't really expecting to see cows up here, but it doesn't surprise me either.
Hey folks, I want to take a quick minute to thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's episode. Being on the road full-time filming for the channel doesn't leave me a lot of time for writing complicated code for a website. Squarespace takes all of that frustrating work out of building a beautiful site. Watch how I quickly and easily design a clean and professional looking front page for my website. Knowing that many of you watch my videos through mobile devices, I have been spending a lot of time making sure my new site will be mobile friendly. Again, Squarespace makes this very easy, allowing me to quickly see how my site is going to appear on different mobile platforms. If you need a website, give Squarespace a check. Pick from one of the many professional design templates and even add an online store. Go to www.squarespace.com/Primal Outdoors to get 10% off your first purchase.
Oh, God. Man, I tell you, that tastes good after a long day. Bit of a fail today. I think I bit off a little more than I could chew this morning, or I was a little overzealous in what I thought I could accomplish in one day traveling all via dirt tracks. You know, to get from where I was at to get to Glass Buttes probably would have, if I'd have just went out to the highway and drove the highway, it would have probably taken me no more than a couple hours. But when you try to do it all via dirt roads and back roads and stuff like that, it's a whole different story. And I'd gone on KIA, their website, and I was using the map tools there, and I'd kind of routed out a way to get to where I wanted to go. But as many of you probably can relate, when you've tried to look at a map and look at roads, that a lot of times the roads that you see on maps are no longer serviceable or passable, and I ran into that today, and I ended up having to backtrack back way out and then head back out to the highway, make a loop around, and hop back onto the BLM. And by the time I'd kind of messed around with all that, it got late in the day, and I decided that it was time to just hang it up and find a place to set up for the night. And so we've got a nice little spot. It's kind of that area I like, where forest meets desert, and I just think these spots are really, really beautiful, and I just enjoy them. I just think they're really, really a great place to be, and so it's a good place to camp either way. And even though we might have failed at what we wanted to accomplish today, in the end we got to see some really nice country and travel through some cool area and still end up in a spot where we'll be able to enjoy the evening. So maybe a fail in the goal that we had to set aside, but in the end it's still a win as far as just pure enjoyment and relaxation. But we've had a little thunder and lightning, and that's always great when you got dogs. And but it's finally stopped, and they've settled and are relaxed and sleeping now. But they were pretty stressed there a few minutes ago when the thunderstorm was coming through. But still a little windy. I think I'm gonna just finish this little bit of whiskey, make myself a little dinner on the Scottle, and call it an early evening. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give a like. If you got any feedback or anything you'd like to say, leave those down in the comments. I really do kind of browse through and see what's going on down there. And I always enjoy reading everything. So if you have something to say, I definitely appreciate when you do. And I'll catch you guys again outside.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.